What's up?
Yo.
We'll see how long I can keep the jacket on. I might get hot up here, but I want to rock it.
Yeah, that could get hot after a little bit.
The official Den of Thieves Pantera jacket.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
CR was like a kid on Christmas when he saw that on the sofa. Thank you to Lionsgate. Thank you to Den of Thieves, to Pantera, because that's why we rarely do this, where we've already done the Rewatchables episode, and we say, fuck it, let's do it again. So we did this the first time, what was it, 2019, pre-COVID?
Yeah.
And, we didn't have a lot of the categories in. We didn't have Van, wasn't the ringer yet.
Yeah.
Van loves this movie. So we just said, screw it, let's run it back. This is a movie, the sequel, which we knew was coming.
Yes. At the end of Den of Thieves 1, it's alluded to the idea that there's more to this story and that it'll take place across the Atlantic.
Van, you said something interesting when we were hanging around before. The slow burn movie that hits on cable or wherever. And it does a certain whatever in the theater. This movie did well in the theater. But then, one of the reasons we have this podcast, it gets a second life of its own. This is going to be one of those movies where the sequel does better than the original.
Of course, the two reasons why I was interested in it. One is because they all went on the Breakfast Club. And I love it when white people go on the Breakfast Club. So I see this list of people on the Breakfast Club, and it's like 50 Cent, Pablo Schreiber.
Yeah.
And Gerard Butler. I want to know who Gerard Butler think won the Jay-Z versus Nas beef.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, the movie's interesting. And then to a man, every single person that had seen the movie was like, yo, man, you got to see Den of Thieves. Like, Den of Thieves is actually crazy. And I watched it, and I'm like, I'm vibing with these characters, man. This is my type of joint.
CR, you're the reason I saw this movie.
Yeah.
We've known each other a long time, since 2011. I would say 7-8 times in my life with you, you just would send me a text and be like, Bill.
I think what happens is I'll send you the text. I'll be like, if you've seen Den of Thieves, I'm going to get around to it. Then if I see you in person, I pull you aside. I put my hand on your shoulder and I say, hey, have you seen Den of Thieves? And you're like, I'm going to do it this weekend. And then 10 days later, I get a text that says, Den of Thieves. On watch number 3 in 10 days.
Right.
And the thing about this movie is it essentially has these 3 chunks, right? It's got everything up until Merriman is like, we're cop killers now. And you're like, holy shit. And then it's got the middle part where you're like, this is amazing. I want this to go on for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then it has the last hour and 6 minutes, which is just hard as anything else and has 3 robberies or 3 shootouts, essentially. And you can watch any given part in any order, and you can just, as soon as one's on, you're just like, I'm in, I'm watching the whole thing.
And the movie legitimately keeps you off balance.
Yes.
Like, there are 3 or 4 different times, like when I was first watching the movie, I'm like, oh shit. Like, what's about to happen when they pass each other, when he's at the house with the girl. I thought it was gonna go down right then the same question that he asked him when they're in the bank, he goes, how are you gonna get out of this one? That's what the fuck I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way to get out of this situation. Like, he's cooked. But the movie keeps you off balance and keep you off the balance until the payoff is just immense at the end.
Well, it starts out, we get the card at the top.
Yeah.
2,400 times a year, 44 times a week, 9 times a day, every 48 minutes, it's just flashing up. A bank is robbed here. And then it goes away, and then it comes back.
That's like the text
This is the
equivalent.
bank robbery capital of the world. I'm like, all right, I'm in.
That's the text equivalent of when Billy Bob Thornton is talking about fossil fuels on Landman, and you're just like, absolutely, I believe it. And it's the same thing for the text. The texture's just like, all right, I guess I don't witness bank robberies every 44 minutes.
I'm about to say, where they happening at? They're happening all over the place. I ain't seen one yet.
48 minutes, every 48 minutes feels like a lot.
That would be like every time you go to the bank, there's a 1 in 8 chance that you're
He's
getting robbed.
gonna get robbed. I think about that, I'm like, yo, man, online forever. I don't want to be in the middle of
It would be funny if that was completely made up. And it was just like, I wonder if they'll believe this every 48 minutes.
They put it in front of a movie, and then like you repeat it without verifying it.
Yeah.
You at a party somewhere, being like, I bet you didn't know this. Every 48 minutes in Los Angeles, a bank is robbed.
So, CR, do your thing about a crime movie versus a heist movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is like, I talked about this on the first one, but there was like this idea that a crime movie is essentially about the culture around crime. So in some ways, I think like Heat is actually like a really good crime film because it's not just about these guys pulling a bank job. It's about why they're pulling a bank job. It's all the circumstances that led them to this moment where they're pulling it. Ocean's 11 is a heist movie because it's about the mechanics of pulling off a heist. It's about all the little layers of how they're going to get into the casino. And Den of Thieves is both. It's about the culture of what led these guys to these moments and LA and the LA crime scene, but then it's also about this super elaborate breaking into one bank to tunnel into another bank to sneak out with Chinese food and get $30 million in shredded money.
It's also a movie to me that like examines a culture that I wasn't familiar with yet. Now, we ended up getting a whole bunch of information on cliques and organizations inside of the LA Sheriff's Department. But at that point, I didn't really know much about it. And to see those guys on screen like that, it was almost like Alonzo's people from Training Day. But if they had a little bit more of an actual code and aim to stop crime. So the ambiguity of what in this movie is actually criminal, it muddles who you want to win. And that, as much as anything else in the plot, keeps you off balance throughout the whole movie too.
For sure.
Well, you mentioned Heat. So the biggest criticism of this movie with the douchey people who reviewed it, they know who they are. They're in the wrong. Was that it was a Heat ripoff. We prefer to think of it, it's the Sons of Heat, right? Triple Frontier. This movie. What are the other Sons of Heat? Because Heat comes out in 1995. And there's a bunch of movies that are clearly influenced it in different ways.
Heat's influenced pretty much every movie that's come from it. I mean, like,
and
every movie that came
created
afterwards. I mean, like, you could go as big as Dark Knight, or you could say something like 999, or like, there's just tons of crime movies that have come out that have referenced it. I think that the thing that this movie really grabbed onto is the idea that Heat has, but this movie takes to another level too, is just this, like, the robber and the cop being on these paths that are, like, gonna collide at some point.
That they're essentially the same person.
Yeah.
That their obsession with whatever it is that they're doing clouds their judgment and infiltrates every single part of their life.
Yeah, and in some ways, like, I mean, Merriman is more principled than Big Nick in this movie, so they have the, like, kind of, like, who are you watching, who are you rooting for, I think fades and changes throughout the film. But then they twist everything with this Usual Suspects plot with Donnie, right? So that's the thing that I think is the curveball that keeps you off balance throughout the movie, is this, like, we keep going back to the driver, we keep going back to Donnie. I know it's an important actor and everything, but like, what's happening here? And it's only until the last shot, Kaiser Soze style.
And something else about Heat that's a little different here is that, obviously in Heat you have Shaherlis, who is like all problems, right? He's like going through it, whatever. But Neil and the Pacino character are pretty invincible. They go through things, right?
Yeah.
But they're pretty one-dimensional in terms of...
They're samurais. They're like, this is what I do.
Right. These characters are not. Like, guy in the middle of divorce talking to his daughter through a fence. He's crying. You have the O'Shea Jackson's character, and you took it off already, brother.
It gets hot up here.
You couldn't
knew that was going to happen.
But anyway, but most of these characters, they have different dimensions to them where you see a little weakness and vulnerability from them.
Sons of Heat, we left out the town.
The town, yeah.
Yeah, that was another one. So I had crime movie versus heist movie, a bank robbery movie for bank robbery fans.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Really,
There's some touches.
You really have to love it. It's like watching non-majors golf. You know, it's like, I just really like watching Max Homa.
The culture. Yeah, the culture around banks. And then just a lot of alpha male stare downs. Yeah. And you mentioned one of them before, but this movie, you could have maybe done 2 stare downs, and they have like 4 or 5.
The entire film is like one gigantic dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Benihana. You have the gun range. You have in the...
prom date.
You
and then you have the day after when Pablo Schreiber's character comes
You have
home.
literally the lowest form of dick measuring, which is my high school used to fuck over your high school.
Right.
Which is something that we do in Louisiana all the time. Oh shit, you went to Capitol? We used to tear y'all motherfucking asses up. I'm 44. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was 1996. But it still happens. You know?
Would you be able to recognize people from a high school you played?
Absolutely.
Yes.
22 years later? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
I still know their names.
All right, so after watching this movie a bunch of times, and we did it, the first time we did the pod, the movie had been out probably like a year and a half.
I think so.
I've seen it at least 10 times since. This movie checks a lot of boxes for the kind of thing we love, including when people say things like, "What happened back there? We're cop killers now." The flashback of the paroled prisoner
He says
leaving.
It's so much cooler than that.
I'm just ripping through it.
You sounded
You do
like
it. Do
Mr.
your
Robot for a second.
Do your version.
He's like, we're cop killers now. Like he says, he's got swag.
Van, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. We're cop killers now.
Yeah, that was best. All right, Van wins. We're cop killers now.
That's good.
That's better.
Good. You just needed more than one take. You know, it's okay.
That's 2 takes. We have one of my favorites when a paroled prisoner leaves and the prison guard has to give him the "see you soon, Ray." It's such a dick move.
Yeah.
The guy's getting out of jail.
See, this is my problem with the prison system. Why are you talking to him like that?
Right.
Yeah.
He's getting out. It's the happiest day of his life.
Yeah, like
You give him shit?
Yeah, like can't wait till you get back. Then let him go. The girl's there.
We have a cop saying, "Yeah, I guess I'm getting divorced."
Join the club.
We have the bank that's never been robbed.
Oh my God. And that's why we're gonna
A
rob it.
fucking staple.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things about a heist movie is talking about just how impregnable a place is that's about to get robbed.
Is this
And
and
yet
Ocean's
somehow there's
11
a
are
ton
the
of
two-
information about the place and ventilation of it. The guy on the phone talking to the cops, "You just killed a hostage." Boom. Love that. And then I like when there's like intricate detail about shooting, where like in this one, he's like, suspects wearing body armor, limb and headshots only.
Yeah.
It's like, that's some fucking deep dive shit. Limb and headshots only.
That
Don't
means
bother with
shoot
the
him
chest.
either in the head or in the arm.
Yeah.
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 That's the
what-
Alameda corridor, man. You just gotta come ready to rock.
This movie's playing it all. So Gerard Butler, who I knew from 300, I knew from Law Abiding Citizen, I knew from a movie my family loves called Chasing Mavericks.
Yeah.
You guys
Oh,
know
yeah,
that movie?
surfing. Big surf movie.
Yeah,
Big
that was a
movie.
big movie in the Simmons house. And
You're
then,
not an Olympus Has Fallen guy?
well, he did the 2 Fallen movies.
He's also really good in Rock and Rolla, I think. Is that the guy
Oh,
he's in?
that's
That
a
one's
great one.
awesome. Yeah.
But here,
Him and
there was
Idris
like
Elba.
some rom-com stuff with him, and it was like, is he going to be Nick Cage? Is he going the Ryan Reynolds path? What is this? And then he finds himself in Big Nick, Chris.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to age into the roles that you want. I think this is a case where it's like he was a beefcake, he was a rom-com star, he did some like crime movies or whatever. But Big Nick and all the movies around this time seems to be, this is where he was always headed. And this look, being able to wear that weight, wear that age, the bags under his eyes, I don't think he could have done that 10 years prior.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, a lot of times you come out and they fiddle around with it. Even Matthew McConaughey had like an awkward period where he was trying to figure out who he was in Hollywood. But when Gerard figured it out,
Who is he?
Who is Matthew
Did he figure it
McConaughey?
out?
Yeah. All right. He's the cool guy from Texas.
Well, Butler gained 25 pounds for this movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you hear with method actors, maybe off the screen, they're trying to capture what's in there with the character. You just get the feeling Butler might have been getting after it a tiny bit
Well, I
on the
just think
set.
it's
Just a
perfect for
tiny
Big
bit.
Nick, though. Big
Yeah.
Nick doesn't sleep.
No comment, Van?
I mean, he's leathery. He's grizzled.
He's
works.
sweaty.
Yeah, he looks like a guy that, you know, if you're in a situation with him, you think twice about it before you fuck with him. And that's the kind of thing that you have to give off to make this role really work.
He looks like a guy from the 1970s. Like, they stopped making dudes looking like that in 1986.
He looks like a guy who got home at 6 in, accidentally texted his wife instead of a stripper, and then drank from milk in the fridge
Boy, I tell you what.
without putting it in a glass. Just
So, like, in one scene, one thing that is decidedly white, and then another thing that is decidedly black.
oh, this is a good rewatchables category.
Yeah.
Right. Careful.
But only for pods that you and me do.
But like every time I see, and they make sure they only have white characters do this in movies. Every time I see somebody go to a refrigerator and drink whole milk out of the gallon early in the morning, I'm like, God damn, that's Caucasian. But see, the other part of it, where you text your girl, but you really meant to text the stripper. My homie's been through that. I've been there.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what should I say? What you mean?
We need to find the guy who's done both and make him president. You know,
exactly.
So when we did this in 2019, we talked about how this would have been the perfect Nick Cage role in like the late 2000s, and then Nick Cage aged out of it. And now it's 6 years. Like, who is the actor now that would be the big Nick O'Brien?
I think that, like, Pedro Pascal, maybe. Wagner Moura, maybe. You're looking at me like, because you're just like, there's only one big Nick.
No, you didn't. I don't know if we hit it. I really think it's a hard... You have to have some experience with the actor. They have to look a little physically different. They have to look like this might be happening to them as they're filming the movie. It's a hard needle to thread. Like Affleck, I think, could have done it in the mid-2000s, late 2000s.
Affleck, Boston.
Yeah. Could Drake May have done this part?
Who else?
You know what? It's weird. There's a version of this in the multiverse where Liev Schreiber plays Big Nick.
Oh.
Because he could play...
That got a groan from the crowd. Jesus.
Well, think about how...
But it would be brother versus brother.
Brother versus brother.
Well,
one went to Long Beach Poly, one South Torrance.
Well, Pablo Schreiber, half brother of Liev, 6'5".
God damn.
I would say he's about as tall as you can get as an actor and be the lead in a movie when everyone else is so short in Hollywood. You can't really go higher than 6'5".
Yeah.
Right? Like he couldn't... If he was 6'7".
He looks like he could play for the Chargers.
Yeah, he's huge. He looks like a tight end. We knew him as Sabaka in The Wire.
Sabaka, yeah.
Way back. And he was so good in season 2. And then, just was in a bunch of good stuff. But
Orange is the New Black. Yeah.
I think this is my favorite performance of his.
It's
out of all of
transformative.
these.
It's awesome. He's incredible in this.
Yeah, like...
Ray Merriman.
Yeah, just kind of has a lot of what you need for the role. Like this intensity, but at the same time, you have to believe that there's some sort of code. And it comes across really well when he's on screen. There are certain things that he doesn't want to and won't do.
Is Ray Merriman a fun hang? Probably not. It's like, come on over to the barbecue at Ray's house. It's like not a lot of laughs at Ray's house.
Ray is...
just people grimly eating.
Eating steak unadorned on a paper plate.
Yeah.
By himself.
See, I think that...
Like, he's not going to have a lot of thoughts on the 12-team college playoff.
Yeah. He's like, you guys...
I'm guessing.
I don't know. How does Boise State get us by? I don't get it.
So I think that he's probably... This is the thing about this little group. I think that they're probably fun within themselves, but not fun for anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, they probably have a lot of fun talking about getting to the exfil in Baghdad circa 2006, but that's not some shit I want to hear about.
Right.
Honestly, Van, I rarely do this with you, but disagree. All scenes that we see with these guys, they're like, "You want to lift? Like, let's lift."
Yeah.
But look,
that's all they do. They don't like. They're not talking.
Okay, but there's one. I get it. There's one scene that makes me feel different when they're intimidating
the prom date.
The prom date, and then after they intimidate the prom date, they go back in here, and I'm like, "Yo, these guys not about to have a laugh about this. They were serious." But then they all break down and
but
they have
the
a
one
laugh.
time that these guys crack up is when they're threatening to put a teenager in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
All other times, including at Benihana before Nick gets there, they're just like,
yeah.
They are hard as fucking nails. Like they don't there's no laughter. There's only robbery and football.
I got family here, bro.
Don't appreciate you popping off like this, bro.
$30 million budget, made $85 million. And the key to this movie was it did well, and then it hit this whole cable world really in the last kind of vestiges of when that would happen. Because now it's just like it's all streamers. You're deciding, what do I want to watch? Oh, I'll go to Netflix. Oh, I like that thumbnail. I'll click on that. This was still the era of you just went to a cable guide and looked around and saw it was on. And Den of Thieves was on, I would say, for 9 months straight on Showtime. There's like 3 Showtime channels. It was just on one of the 3 constantly. And that was where I think the secret sauce came in with the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think that how many films could you name in like the last 3 years that did something like this? You know what I mean? Like since COVID, I think it's been like a real like drought where we're not really seeing films that are getting like a second life, a second legs. And people have talked about this, where it's like the home DVD market, everything about it has kind of killed the idea of films having a second life. But this film did well in the box office, and I think it just became huge.
Another thing is there's just so many movies. Like you're going through your Prime Video or whatever, and you see a movie and it's like, oh my God, Mos Def, John Lithgow, Anthony Hopkins. And you like, should I watch this? And then, you know what I mean? But this one, you literally got a vote of confidence from so many different people. Like my cousin hit me up, and I know that he's excited about a movie wherever he puts that in front of the name of the movie. So he'll be like, oh man, did you see that Den of Thieves?
Yeah.
But that lets me know he fucking loved that shit.
Van, did you see that Conclave?
Did you see that, bro? You see that Honora? And so
you see that Brutalist?
That's how he is. And so
That's the Brutalist?
And so I watch it and I'm like, yeah, man, I seen that Den of Thieves. That Den of Thieves crazy.
No Roger Ebert for this. Every Rewatchables episode, we read a Roger Ebert review, but he was long gone because he died in 2014.
But
I did ask ChatGPT Roger Ebert.
Oh my God.
Had to find out, and they said
God.
he thought that ChatGPT thought he would like it. Den of Thieves has been praised for its gritty action and tense heist sequences. Some critics find it derivative of earlier crime films like Heat. Again, they can all fuck themselves.
Did Roger Ebert write that?
No, Chat. This is Chat.
Roger Ebert wrote this?
Based on this, Ebert might have given it 2.5 to 3 stars, acknowledging its entertainment value while pointing out its lack of originality or depth. ChatGPT, settle down.
Yeah.
I think he would have gone 3 stars, and I think he would have liked the action stuff.
Yeah,
But I think, he probably would have brought up other high stuff. But
I think he also would have seen that there was like, it harkened back to like French Connection. It harkens back to like classic cop movies from the 70s.
It's the kind of movie that should be made every 3-4 years.
And I also think he would have enjoyed the fact that even though the movie is familiar in ways, it doesn't play it safe as far as its story.
Yep.
It goes for some new things that maybe some of those other movies did story-wise.
Most rewatchable scene. First one, donut store robbery.
Yep.
So we get Erie, LA, which LA, I don't know if other cities operate in the same way, but there's this whole other world of LA at night, middle of the night, 2, 3 in the morning, where you just kind of don't know what the fuck's going on in a bunch of different parts, right? And it's just like empty highways. It's always so weird not to see cars. And there's just a couple stores open all over the place, and you
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
You have a very popular genre of social media video called your walk and talks. When are we going to
3 a.m. Hawthorne?
I want to see 3 a.m. Bill.
3 a.m. donut run?
Bill walking down Wilshire?
Oh, no. Not Wilshire. No. Fuck Wilshire. Gardena. Southgate. Hawthorne. I want to see you out there with the people doing a walk and talk.
But you see a movie like this that gives you the card of there's a bank robber every 48 minutes, and then the next scene, it's the middle of the night with an empty, long 4-lane street, and there's a donut shop, and you're like, this isn't going to go well for the donut guys.
And then it's like, is that Bill Simmons walking by the donut shop talking about the Kings?
I think he's talking about Drake May. So we get the classic, the guy who's reaching for the coffee, who they have to shoot.
Yep.
We're out of time. We got to engage. They know exactly how long. Which guy would you be in the crew, Van?
I mean,
would you be the guy monitoring when we have 90 seconds, 60 seconds? Would you be the lead guy?
Now that's the best job.
Backup guy?
Right. The guy in the chair is the best job. But I'm probably Bosco. I'll probably mess the whole thing up.
He was reaching for the coffee.
He was reaching for it. Pop, pop, pop. That's probably me.
Yeah.
We don't know what we could do with this Lathan guy. Maybe we have to kill him. But that's probably me. But I will say something about that scene is whenever a movie opens with a heist, you're always trying to figure out what that robbery means. Like what it actually says about the movie and about the crew and about their ethos. And of all the heists that you've seen to open something, this one says the most about the crew itself to me.
Yeah.
Because they end up...
they've had military training.
They've had military training, contact left, contact right. You have all of that stuff. 2, they rob, they basically steal the truck and not the contents of the truck. So there's something more to it. And then 3, the sentence, we're cop killers now. tells you that there's something more to them. So you probably learn the most about this group because of that.
And
heist
that this
at the
was
beginning.
like a level up for them.
Right.
Nice little swerve though, because we don't know what's in the truck. He
Yeah.
opens the door. I mean, we know after we watch
That's
the
the
movie
first
8 times.
hint that this is going to be a very twisty movie.
Yeah.
He's looking in the truck like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's shades of the opening in Heat, but it's also later parts of different heist movies too. There's it is tapping into a bunch. So next one, Big Nick shows up at the crime scene, and Gerard Butler's just like, guys, in case you were wondering, I'm going for it. I'm going for it from the first minute you see me. Is there a half a box of donuts on the floor with like splattered blood on the box? I'll have one. I'm hungry. Looks great.
Is there an FBI agent I can call Lobbin Bob?
They give him the, hey, rough night. He's like, yes, next subject. And you just know he hasn't slept. There's no way he has been asleep that night. He eats the donut, van.
By the way, as far as, because there's always like a grizzled cop rock bottom thing.
Yeah.
It's either a cop takes out, a cup, a mug, pour some whiskey in it, and then some Pepto-Bismol, and you think, damn, that motherfucker nasty, right? But as far as rock bottom cop stuff goes, eating a donut from a crime scene after someone has said that one doesn't have any blood on it broke new ground, and you are a nasty motherfucker. You need God.
Yeah, your defense is, well, the box was closed. That's it. That's your only defense.
The dude says, he's like, we got donuts down there. And he's like, here's a couple of them down there with no blood on them. It's just, that was when I like, oh yeah, Big Nick got some problems, man.
I also love when these guys come in and they instantly know everything that can happen. Where he's saying like, well, they knew the route. There's no getaway bird support. And he's just like spelling it out. It's like, this guy has slept probably 1 hour in the last 3 days and has just ate a donut off the floor. But somehow he's like just reaching left and right,
like you
grabbing
doing
everything.
Same game parlays. You're just like,
The calves at home.
But to be honest with you, the script is answering questions, because if you're from LA, when you see that first scene, you're thinking, where is the helicopter? Like, why is there no chopper in the air? There should have been a chopper in the air, and they answer it right away.
Then he gives us we're dealing with a different animal, boys.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I guess we are. I wrote down, hungover Nick goes right from a donut to a cigarette while making fun of a cop in a suit for being a vegan. Just elite stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. It's some of Butler's finest work. All right, next scene. Donnie tells the story of how he met Merriman and the crew. Really fun driving scene. Good flashback stuff. One of the things I like about this movie is you always know where you are in the movie, even if we're going backwards. You always have a sense of what's happening. So then they have the Merriman setting up the Bank of Banks versus Big Nick breaking down Merriman's crew, where they do a little back and forth.
Yeah.
Which I think works really well. And Merriman somehow has an incredible amount of information about the Bank of Banks.
well, we find out why later.
Yeah, later on we know.
How does he know there were 53 attempts?
Oh, well,
Was
that
that
might
in-
be on Wikipedia. I have no idea. But like, I mean,
Is that on Wikipedia
I think
though?
Donnie
Or
is,
do they?
I think the idea is
there
that Donnie
bank-
Donnie is actually the fount of information. Like, he's the one who's like, here are all the bar napkins. Here's all the information.
So it's
Did you
not
watch it to the end?
bankrobberyreference.com? Like
Bank
you just
robbery
looked this
Reddit?
up?
Yeah, I don't know.
53, whatever. But we find out Laveau and Merriman played football at Long Beach Poly.
Mm-hmm.
There's $30 million. Do you buy this thing that there's $30 million that could just disappear because they have to shred it so nobody's looking for it? I bought it personally.
I mean, I bought it too. There's always something like that in every movie. Like, we're going to steal plates to make more money.
Yeah.
These plates are the only 4 plates in the whole world, and we the only ones that can get them. I just go, okay, cool. Well, go get
I
the
will say
plates.
this. It's an incredibly high degree of difficulty. Like, these guys are so heavy hitters. Like, they could just straight up rob a bank. You know, like, they're like, we need to rob this specific cash before it goes
Yeah.
into a shredder.
Well, then they can, I guess, spend it for the rest of their lives, and it's untraceable.
Yeah.
I guess it's worth it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're stealing what's-his-face's bonds and selling it back to him.
Yes.
What was that guy's name? Van Zant.
Van Zandt.
Van Zandt, yeah.
Fast Five they're breaking into the bank in Brazil
Man,
that nobody's ever broken into.
The
I think
Fast
Fast Five's a
people-
secret heist movie.
the fast people doing too much. They breaking into all different types of shit. They breaking into igloos, going to outer space.
Right.
It's like whatever is the hardest shit to do, they trying to do it. I'm over it. I want them to do some regular shit. I want them to rap a 7-Eleven in the next Fast movie. Some regular shit.
Going back to the basics.
Go back to basics.
Fast 11, back to the basics.
Fast 11, back to basics.
Taking down a donut shop.
Dom Toretto on a Schwinn,
Yeah.
robbing a regular 7-Eleven because it's going too far now.
It's a private school charity banquet. He's just
Exactly.
taking it down. Next scene, 50 Cent's pep talk for his daughter's prom date.
One of the best scenes.
Which
of
they let
American
50
history.
Cent, finally they put a chef's outfit on him, let him cook for 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
Really good reveal. I did the same thing to my daughter on his prom date. I had all the guys from the Ringer in the garage. Just Sean Fantasy trying to intimidate him.
Okay. I thought you had really did that. Yeah. It would just be funny the phone call that he would make to his boys. Like, this dude act like he was about to push up on me. I'll fuck this guy up.
He had a bunch of nerds talking about their Letterboxd accounts. I don't know if you know me. I got a lot of followers on Letterboxd. I saw The Brutalist.
I'll go on Blue Sky and I'll
in
ruin
70
you.
millimeter. Yeah.
Next scene, my favorite scene in the movie, the Benihana scene. How many times have you watched this, Sierra? Do you go on YouTube and just type in Den of Thieves Benihana like once a month?
Last night, my wife and I were chatting about where we could get like a last dinner before she takes off for the holidays, and I did Google directions for Benihana in Torrance. It was not a convenient drive, but I think about this a lot, and I don't know why we haven't done a group dinner at Benihana yet.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should. But we need to do it when there's somebody there we can like intimidate.
Is this officially Benihana? Did
I don't think they
get-
ever say Benihana in there though.
And are there Benihana ripoff restaurants, or is it like?
Oh yeah,
there
like
are.
other type of hibachi joints and stuff like that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, the food here sucks. We come here for the ass.
Imagine
He
you're,
starts
like,
talking
the chef,
shit.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Some guy over there like,
I'm making an onion volcano. Yeah.
The staff's like, we're right here, guys. Starts talking all kinds of high school football shit.
Yes.
Is that an immediate fight fan?
I mean, yeah, our rivals were Capital, and you don't just bring up different shit that happened. But what I want to know is what position these guys played.
Yeah.
I want to know if they was on the field together because they taking this shit real seriously. They see the dude, and the dude is the sheriff, and he goes, yeah, he played for South Torrance. It's like, you write this like, fuck him. I'm like, God damn, y'all taking it that fucking serious after years and years and years and years?
So what do you think? I was going to do this later, but what do you think Ray Merriman's with middle linebacker, tight end?
Yeah, free safety, linebacker. Definitely
Oh, I think he was definitely,
defense.
he's too tall. He
Two-way?
had to be defensive end, middle linebacker.
You don't think he had any possibility that he was the quarterback?
I gotta say, like,
Oh, 6'5" quarterback.
6'5" quarterback. He's calling the
Oh,
shots.
you
He's
kidding
kind of
me?
the guy.
Nobody's fucking following Ray in a huddle. He's just like, just do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
Heads and limbs. You know, like, it's like that's not inspiring. You're not Joe Burrow.
What about Big Nick? What position did Big Nick play?
Oh, he was linebacker, wasn't he?
They say
Yeah.
linebacker?
He was. I thought he played
Linebacker and
linebacker.
probably third down running back.
Yeah. Can I just say, I did more research on Long Beach Poly versus South Torrance than any other thing I've ever podcasted about.
Yeah.
And it rivals only trying to figure out what Lakers game they're talking about in Die Hard when Theo comes into the
Yeah.
lobby of the Nakatomi Plaza. But it's really weird that Nick is popping so much shit about South Torrance. And Long Beach Poly, I think, definitively has a better program.
Dominant.
Yeah, and Deshaun Jackson went to
Deshaun
Long Beach
Jackson,
Poly.
yeah, dominant.
And Nick's is like, we whipped your ass. I'm like, when? Like, when did that happen?
Well, they had, since we did the first pod, Antonio Pierce became the Raiders coach. He was the head coach for Long Beach Poly for like 3-4 years. So yeah, it was a big ass program. Crushed you guys when I was there, crushed you guys when you were there. Just like, just bizarre. Anyway,
It's like, hey, bro, we're at a Benihana. Relax.
that leads to Ray Merriman standing up. I got family here, bro. Don't appreciate you popping off. It feels like we're going to have a Benihana fight.
Right there, yeah.
And then Butler's partner comes in. Does a have a good night, everybody. It's an unbelievable scene, but it leads to, because I think this is part of the same scene, them getting mad at Donnie and taking him to the murder tent.
Yeah.
Is that what we call it? The murder? It's like the
I
blue
would
tent
say
in
it would be
football,
the-
but it's the murder tent.
The body disposal area. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got the the Samoan dude with the big bucket ready to go. Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the
acid.
shit. Like if you're walking into a room like that, like Joe Pesci just getting whacked in Goodfellas because
he
there's
didn't know what was-
1 second where he knows,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah. Oh
there's
my God.
the South African dudes in Lethal Weapon 2 have the plastic on the
Yeah,
floor.
plastic on the floor is bad. When you see the giant garbage can and the
Full of
guy wearing
acid?
equipment
Yeah.
because he's pouring acid in,
And then
that's
my,
rough.
My favorite oh shit moment, and it kills me every time, is Speed. Jeff Daniels.
Oh,
When he walks in
the
the
stop,
house
he stops.
and he's about
clock,
to get
yeah.
blown the fuck up.
Murder Tent's great. The shooting range, gun range, whatever we want to call it. Nice little battle. And Big Nick's a little impressed by the shooting.
Yeah, he's cycling that weapon.
Yeah, he's kind of like likes it.
Yeah.
There's an admiration.
There's like a feeling that these guys are going to get in a shootout like from the second they even acknowledge one another.
They check each other like 4 or 5 times. It's like he looks, he shakes his head, he looks, he shakes his head, and then Merriman just starts going crazy. And Big Nick has to love it. And he also realizes at that point how dangerous his adversary is.
Yeah. We had the fake robbery scene, which is a nice little swerve. The more you see this movie, the more you know where it's going. But that does have we're here for the bank's money, not yours, or whatever, which is a staple
That's
of every
the
heist
Pico
movie.
savings and
Yeah.
loan. My favorite savings and loan on Pico. Is that
And then,
Pico Rivera.
oh yeah, leading to Donnie going in and having to steal the money, which is one of the most tense scenes when he's trapped in the little cash thing, whatever it's called, gets out. They shut the cameras off. It's like this whole like 5 minutes. The guys have to sit there and pretend they're just waiting for the stuff to come on. Really, really good tense scene.
He delivers at least 3 or 4 day old Chinese food,
Yeah,
and one lady is fucking it up
yeah.
and getting in the other lady's face like, you too finicky. I'm like, yo man, that beef and broccoli been up there since last Thursday.
Right.
beef and broccoli can smell pretty off like in 2 hours in the fridge.
Right.
Yeah.
3
Pretty
days
rough.
in an air duct. Yeah.
Then we have the shootout and the ending is the last 2 rewatchable scenes. I mean,
Yeah.
the last 25 minutes of this movie is
Bill,
pretty...
I'll go you a step further. From the second that Big Nick leaves the playground crying,
Yeah.
and everybody starts putting vests on, it's an hour and 6 minutes of perfect cinema.
Wow.
Because it's like it's the savings and loan robbery, the actual heist of the Fed, and the shootout in the corridor, and it takes a very long time, and it is incredible. And then it's the coda.
Action reveal, action reveal,
Yeah.
action reveal.
So what do you go for most rewatchable, Benihana?
Benihana is my heart. My head says the final shootout on the corridor. It's just an
What do you got,
amazing
Ben?
piece of filmmaking.
I got a scene that you didn't mention. The scene where he finally signs the divorce papers and he crashes their like little date with his
Ben,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
really important. I had this in What's Age the Best, though.
So
I had it. What's Edge the Best thing?
any scene where you separate the sharks from the guppies, if you her new date, you gotta go home, turn on the water, get in the shower, and just cry that you didn't been bitched out like that. He walks in, he eating off the man's
He's eating
plate.
the lamb chops.
He drinking his drinks. He talking like that.
It's also perfect because both those guys are wearing like I golfed earlier
Right.
shirts.
Yeah.
And
Izod.
the one dude is just like, Nick, I was gonna call you. I was gonna see if you wanted to get dinner, and it's like bullshit.
Right.
And Nick just sits down in there. I own this. I own everything. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
he says, call the fucking cops.
call the cops. I am the cops.
Yeah.
This is helpless. I feel so bad for the dude. At the same time, I was like, fuck him.
I think if he wants to pursue a relationship with the lady, at some point he's got to like stand up and make it seem like he...
She's on Hinge. It's over.
Yeah, like there's no way you can recover from that.
She was talking to her girls. Look, I thought he was so great. He had all of his stuff
He
together.
didn't
was
even
great.
stand up.
And then fucking Nick walked in and just made him look like a goddamn gimp. It's over.
Yeah, it's done. What's the most 2018 thing about this movie? I would say either the smoking in the bars in LA, which I think now they would just come in and taser you.
I think I assure you, in 2018 they were not. I mean,
I feel like this is the last vestiges of it, but to me it really is like the Showtime bump that this, like when it goes on the cable,
secondary life thing.
Yeah, the secondary life where if this had just been like Carry On Netflix and just comes on, I don't know if it hits the same way. I think just the fact that you could jump into the different parts of it, I thought really helped it grow.
I thought the most 2018 thing was that they were strippers but no BBLs. If you go into that strip club now, it's gonna be some jiggle in that bitch.
That's probably right. That was mine.
Did he steal yours, CR? Yeah. You don't have to come up with another one. We'll just keep going. What's age the best? So the Donnie twist, once you've seen this movie a couple times, knowing what he's up to the whole time makes this a really fun
and
rewatch.
The crucial part is whenever it happens, like midway through the movie, when Merriman knows, after Benihana, and they're like, okay, Donnie's compromised. Part of you is the first time through, like, okay, you guys are the hitters, like, cut him loose. Like, what do you need the driver for? You can get another driver. But when you go back knowing the entire plan was Donnie's, that's why Merriman was compromising and being like, all right, I guess I'm going to keep this guy around because like, he is the key to the castle.
It's
you
really
first
good.
watch the movie, you think he's like, you think he's dead, right? Because why would they fuck around like that? But then you get to the end,
Well, tied into that, the art of bartending, his age the best. I love this quote. Lots of reps. I'm in complete control of my environment. People don't even know. So he says that, and it's a good foreshadowing for what he's up to, but also, like, shout out to the bartenders, man.
Yeah.
Always never miss a trick. Always know what's going on in the bar and the people around. You're always listening to conversations.
Were you a gossip as a bartender? Did you
I heard everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard everything.
Filed it all away. Okay.
What's age the best? Suit stores? Guys hanging out in suit stores? Want to do that on Saturday, CR?
I just want to get myself a big duster.
Want to go try on some leather jackets?
Yeah.
Want to come? You're
I'll go.
invited. All right. Unspoken stares.
Yeah, testosterone staring.
A lot of tough stuff. Like,
Maybe that's the most 2018 thing. Because in 24, they would probably be looking at their phones, but here they're just still staring
right,
each other
still looking
down.
at each other. I like there's some good quotes like, come on, give me a hug, we'll save a fortune in therapy. There's just like some good one-liners in here. All the UFC fighters, which now that I know UFC a lot more than I did in 2018, like there's some real dudes in this.
Yeah, Max Holloway.
Yeah, Max Holloway.
Bisping's at the end, right?
in it, yeah. You want to talk about Butler's leather jackets, Chris?
I mean, they're just a perfect accoutrement for this character. They're leathery the way the character is leathery, you know?
Would you, if there was the set of them, the movie-worn Den of Thieves 1 leather jackets,
Don't
like
get
set
ahead of
of
yourself
4?
on memorabilia, but
Okay.
yeah.
Then I love any movie where there's a big board with photos of
Love
the
it.
crew with titles.
Underboss, boss, boom, boom. And you think, and then, because it all comes back to it at the end, the fact that he had it wrong the whole way. And then he looks, I gotta say something else, man. We real progressive on this. I just gotta take it here. Brothers as masterminds, man. Shout out, brothers, yeah, give it up. Y'all know. The rest of y'all ain't clapping. Okay? Brothers as masterminds. That's how they fucked with you, you know what I mean? That's how they fucked with you. Because at the end you thinking, oh, is it Ice Cube, son? And brothers as masterminds, that really meant something to me.
Shooting range showdowns.
Yeah.
I just like them. It's a great place for a thing because you don't know if they're just going to start shooting
Should be
each
the
other.
final job interview to get hired at the Ringer is you got to go shoot with Bill.
Yeah, let's go shoot together. The big board with photos of the crew. Remember Sopranos had a whole
that was the
2-episode arc where they like ended in a really big episode with
I
that.
never forget that scene because
Yeah.
the instrumental was Paparazzi by Exhibit.
Yeah.
And they going through and they moving stuff around and it's like when they look at
Uncle
Tony,
Junior's down.
and it's like move Junior down
Yeah.
and it's like put Tony up.
Any other What's Age the Best, CR?
Yeah, I have when cops print out a bunch of shit that they could easily just look at on a computer screen, just to be able to hold it up and say, "What happened to you?" I also really love opening your movie with a huge crime that you have to top. Heat does this, Dark Knight does this, Sicario, and Drive, and The Matrix. When you have like a set piece at the beginning, and you're like, the bar is already up here,
Yeah.
and then you top it. It's incredible.
The FBI slander is golden. It's like this movie takes it to the next level. Though.
Yeah.
And Die Hard is like, oh my God, it's the feds. We're cooler than them. This guy is a vegan FBI cuck
Who plays badminton or tennis? Why is he
plays
lobbing
tennis.
bombs?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, tennis took some shots in this movie.
Tennis took some real shots.
Thank God pickleball wasn't around at this point. This would have been
real
really
men
bad.
play football. FBI
Yeah.
vegan cucks play tennis.
Yeah. Any other would say the best?
I think that the opening text is so needlessly hard. It's so cool. It's up there with, not to jump on Apex Mountain, it's the opening text about bank robberies versus the in Mexico, Sicario means hitman. Those are the two greatest title cards I've ever seen.
Yeah, that one was really super fucking hard, like the Sicario joint. I like that Star Wars scroll, though.
Yeah.
You like that shit, Bill?
It's too long. It's too long. It's too much reading.
Too long.
You're in the theater, you're like,
half
your
asleep
girl
by
is
the
like,
time
what
it's
does this
over.
mean? You're like, shut the fuck up.
You know what? Somebody who's got skills should do is redo the Star Wars scroll, but with the text from Den of Thieves. Where it's just like scrolling up across the galaxy is like the bank robbery capital of the world. Every 9 minutes, somebody gets.
It does seem like more movies should just do it. It always works. I'm always down for it. The Fortune 3 Clap Award for Most Gifable Moment. Probably like literally any moment from Benihana, I think, can be cut into a 2-second. What would you have though?
I have Pablo getting up from his rice and just
Don't appreciate you popping off, bro?
Don't appreciate you popping
Yeah.
off here, bro. We
Okay.
got family.
Great Shot Gordo Award, Most Cinematic Shot. I like that final traffic shootout.
Yeah.
Really cool
The drone
overhead
shot.
drone
Yeah, yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah, that looks great. This is so much fun when we get to give out a category that's from the actual movie. The Den of Thieves Benihana Award for scene stealing location.
So is Benihana
It goes to
disqualified?
Benihana. No, you get
we
to keep it to yourself.
so, I mean, obviously then,
Listen, if Bill Russell had won the Finals MVP after it was named after him, he gets the Bill Russell Finals MVP. That's how
that
this
would have been
works.
really impressive.
That would have been at age 82. Kid Cudi Pursuit of
Wait,
Happiness
can I
Award.
throw out some runners up for
Yeah,
Ben-
go for it.
I would say Ziggy's Hofbrau and the menswear store. And the
donut shop. The donut shop is one too, for sure.
Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness Award, Best Needle Drop. Not a lot of music in this, but
Well, the music is incredible. They're not a lot of
No, but a lot of like with lyrics. But What It's Like by Everlast.
Oh yeah.
Nice little.
Oh, bruh.
Nice squeeze that one in there. Little
I
late
love that
'90s,
joint.
baby.
They call her a killer and they call her a sinner. Boy, he was dropping some
Yeah.
knowledge, man.
The Big Kahuna Burger Award for Best Use of Food and Drink. Unless you guys can top drinking milk right from the carton at 6 in the morning.
The donuts,
Bloody donut?
the
Bloody
bloody-
donuts and Deb's new man's house dinner.
That's
Oh,
it.
eating
Just
the-
eating the
eats all
steak
eating the food?
right off
Okay.
of, yeah. What'd you say?
Oh yeah, the skirt
the
steak.
skirt. Yeah. It's a lot.
A lot of food. This is a very good food and drink movie. Okay, the Butch's Girlfriend Award for weak link of the film. I have a thought, but I don't know. You want me to go first?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's 50 cars between the robbers trying to get
Yeah.
away at the end and the cops. And I'm not sure the cops would just decide to turn a traffic standstill into an actual shootout.
Well, I had this in nitpicks.
Because I just imagine sitting in the car, you're halfway through, and be like,
You're listening
what
to
the fuck's
Coward?"
going on? Yeah.
You're like,
I'm listening to the watch.
On the third segment about Oregon, and you're like, yeah, he's got some good point.
At what point they actually going down the and he's like, get down, get behind the engine block. Y'all about to light the fucking highway
Right.
up.
Yeah.
You see what this guy got? That gun, that's from Call of Duty. My engine block not gonna help me. Maybe wait to take him down.
It's a class action suit like a week later.
think?
Were you in the traffic shootout on
Yeah.
March 29th? What do you have for week link? Anything?
No, I don't have a weak link. I have a Vincent Chase, which is often
Okay. What's age the worst? Smoking inside a bar we mentioned. Big Nick going to see his daughter at school. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have just had him outside the fence crying, but I like the shock value of the ending as a what's age the worst because the second, third, fourth time you see it, it's not a shock anymore. So it's not the movie's fault, but
There
it's
is
age the worst
something
because you
in
know
my
it.
head called the Ray Merriman cut, where you just end it when he's like when Ray and Laveau have died. You know, like.
Oh, that's it.
And it's basically like this ends like Heat, basically, where these guys have had this confrontation, and he's like, I didn't bring my cuffs today. You know, it's like that there is a way to end it that way, but the Donnie stuff then unlocks everything that happens afterwards. You know.
So I think that eating the donuts off the ground has aged the worst.
Yeah. It's a health
Especially
violation.
now, because like we got Ozempic, we don't even want them donuts no more.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He's just taking a glutide.
Yeah.
The biggest one for me, and this isn't the movie's fault because they had a certain budget, but they film a lot of it in Atlanta. And I think if they knew it was going to be as big of a movie as it became, I just think we're getting more actual LA in this movie than Atlanta pretending to be LA. Because we noticed, but I would say almost everybody who sees this movie would not notice.
I was like, damn, LA. And then like there's one shot outside of Nick's ex-wife's house or wife's house where like there's no foliage, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like,
You know what's funny?
This is fall.
Is that, and CR can attest to this, I just realized it today.
Yeah.
Like, I just realized it today.
That's a testament to it being cool.
I actually just came in and said, yo, is this a more LA movie than Heat? Because they continuously drop different LA stuff all throughout. It's part of the DNA of the movie. But yeah, like once it's pointed out, you notice it.
We have a category called the Mark Ruffalo, Vincent Hanna, Saul Rubinek, Linda Partridge Overacting Award, which doesn't even necessarily mean overacting. It's really for somebody who's dialing it up. Gerard Butler not only wins this, it's one of the reasons the movie is as much fun as it is, because he's going for it the entire fucking time.
If you get to have a scene where you're wasted and a scene when you're brutally hungover, like you're gonna win.
Yeah, it's the triple crown.
And a scene where you cry after he got the whole gamut of emotions.
Was there a better title for this movie, Van?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
No, like Robbery Capital of the World, like doesn't, I don't know. Den of Thieves is sick.
Den of Thieves is sick.
It's going to be interesting, though, when it has sequels, because eventually, like, Fast and Furious became Fast 5, Fast 6, and then we shorthand. I don't know if we're going to be shorthanding Den or Thieves.
Thieves 8.
Thieves 8? I think it's going to
4?
be Thieves, right? Yeah.
Oh, wow, look at that.
The Can You Dig It award for most memorable quote. People that have things to hide never have much to say. Good high school yearbook quote.
I have the exchange where Ray's like, I ain't cuffing up, and Nick's like, that's okay, I didn't bring my cuffs anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, the CR thinks Luke Wilson could have been Harrison Ford. Hottest take award.
If you
What do you got, CR?
If you know you're getting Den of Thieves 2, do you keep Ray alive? Do you keep Ray alive? Like, is Merriman so cool in this movie and such a viable character? I know it ends the movie with such a profound, like, period at the end of the sentence, but Pablo is so good in this that would you be like, Nick goes to get Ray out of jail to help him catch Donnie is the second part.
So probably, okay. But I do think that there's obviously some utility in killing him because I think the statement that the movie makes, the movie to me, the underlying theme of the movie is predator versus prey.
Right.
And the entire movie, you think that he is a predator, but he's actually just prey. The two apex predators that were left at the end of the movie had different skill sets.
Sure.
One of them was a big, bruising, physical guy, and the other one was your Lex Luthor.
Sure.
And so, like, that, and I don't know why you're giving away ideas, but that sequel that you had in mind actually would be dope. But him going out like actual prey actually like works in the movie really well too.
What do you think?
Ray's twin brother, Rick Merriman. Ray was QB. Rick was the receiver. Rick's leading a good normal life. He lives in Austin. Never got into the family business.
That's what. Yeah, I like that idea. Sean Merriman is his actual.
Sean Merriman.
And Sean, he played football.
Yeah.
He was playing for the Chargers at this point. They have their dad could be played. I don't know about Denzel. Bring it like they have brothers or something. Now we cook it.
All right. I have so this movie. The movie reviewers when they were doing how it's like Heat. There's some stuff that's the same. Like they have there's bank heists, over the top cop in a bad relationship. two sides casing each other out. The bad guys knowing they're being followed by the good guys, trying to get info on them. Big shootouts at the beginning and the end. Hero cop confronting his wife's new guy. Downtown LA. The scene with the messed up hero cop trying to connect with the younger girl. And then the black cop sidekick. So there's a lot of like stuff in there. I'm fine with all of it. Guess what? We love Heat about as much as anything. Why can't more
those things
movies
also
emulate
exist.
Heat?
Yeah, those
like
things
why is this a bad thing?
exist until
It's like,
you
oh my
die
God,
in
he's
LA
emulating
and-
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it happens. It happened in North Hollywood. The actual fucking thing happened. I mean, these
Right.
are things that, get reflected in movies because shootouts happen, things like that happen.
So casting what ifs we couldn't find anyway.
Not really.
But the director is here. Where is he? Where's
Hill,
Christian?
so maybe you could tell us later. Yeah.
Was there a casting what if? Was there anybody that was supposed to be in this movie and it didn't happen? Where is he? Yeah, that's what the internet. See, what this movie hasn't been out. What happens with the rewatchables is the movie's out 30 years, and then it's like
Every single
Ryan
person.
Reynolds was going to do Den of Thieves, and then he backed out, and
Yeah.
you just never know what's true and not true. So this movie hasn't been out long enough. Oh, this is good. We get to give out the Van Lathan Award. Did this movie need more black people, Van?
I have an idea. Could have been different. Den of Thieves, race war.
Did you actually have this written down, or is this? Yeah.
All black cast. Den of Thieves, race war is what we do.
Okay.
Okay,
Which is this like
first of all,
the
it's very
fourth one or the
sensitive,
fifth
and
one?
You laugh about it. Like, so for some reason, we got all black cops, all white heist people. Okay? They played high school football. The black guys used to fuck them up. They're mad. They start robbing banks.
Yeah.
And now we got to get one more victory over them. So more black people, all black cast, but Den of Thieves, race war.
It has to, if it happened, it would have to be written exactly like that and in that voice, where like the white robbers would be like, "I'm so mad we used to get our asses whipped by those black guys in football.
Yeah.
Let's rob banks."
We're getting back at Dorsey High. We're getting back at Crenshaw. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're getting back at Fairfax. We are Notre Dame. We are Harvard Westlake.
So Hoosiers crossed with Heat.
Yeah.
Hoosiers cross with Heat.
Okay.
Den of Thieves, race 4.
No,
Race 4, the fourth one. Yeah, perfect.
There it is.
Best That Guy Award. I mean, that guy from this movie and Shot Caller, who we know as Evan Jones, but I think Chris and I are one of the only two people that know.
Yeah.
To me, he's got to win. But would you put?
I have
Is there
Dawn
anybody else in there?
Don Oliveri, because she was she's been on a bunch.
That's
of Taylor
Big
Sheridan
Nick's
stuff.
wife?
Yeah.
Meadow Williams is Ray's girlfriend, but you didn't know her name.
There's one guy, a Russian guy that plays one of the truck drivers, and I see him in stuff all the time. I don't.
That's a good that guy. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen him in a bunch of different things.
So Deion Waiters Award for best heat check in the movie. This is somebody that's in for a couple scenes, and then that's it. I have the two ladies ordering the Chinese food.
You like that?
Yeah, they're only in like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
They're just bringing the heat. She's pissed off. She's like, "Go stop that guy."
I knew it was coming.
What?
No, I like him. I like him.
Who
too.
else would you have?
No,
Everyone
really
else is
doesn't-
in it too much.
Everybody is. It's a small cast. It's not a lot going on. Like, so no, I think. I mean, you could almost the FBI guy is really turning it on.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
really
tennis
is.
guy?
Yeah.
Recasting couch director, City. CR, we're obsessed with Landman right now. What if we had Ali Larder's character from Landman as Big Nick's ex-wife? just going for it.
I don't
Matching
think she would have
him
taken
crazy
that
for
text
crazy.
message as gracefully as Deb did, but yeah.
Yeah, she probably would have stabbed him.
I was thinking because we were talking earlier, we did a quick video where we were talking about what's next for Timothy Chalamet. And while I obviously approve of going forward with the Den of Thieves into the future, what if we did young Nick?
Oh, early Nick
Chalamet,
O'Brien.
early days on the LAPD, going into LASD, like getting acquainted with the LA underworld.
A prequel.
Playing football. Yeah.
I like it. I said initially, I was trying to, when we did the first pod, I was talking about how we could have gotten like a funny character in this, because it's a pretty weighty movie. And I was talking about if
Laugh a lot though.
Dave Chappelle was Butler's sidekick. Dave Chappelle just three. Hold on, bear with me.
Terrible idea.
Hold on.
But with like a bunch of gun training and stuff, like that would look
that's
so
the thing.
weird.
He's swimming against you. You didn't know he had it in him, but he's got like the 3 moments where he really makes fun of Big Nick, and it's funny. But I think I was wrong with that. I actually I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change the cast. This is where I landed. But I was trying to think, how do we get a funny person in this? Who is like the...
God.
I think Bosco could have been funnier. Like Bosco could have been like, that's like the Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers role. You know what I mean? Like there's
Who would you put, Van? Like what? One person who's like 3 times just busted Nick's balls.
I mean, so it's interesting. The Dave Chappelle thing, Dave Chappelle is kind of swollen.
Now we're back.
I mean, no, he is kind of swollen.
I'm talking 2018
so
Star is Born
you
Dave
want
Chappelle.
like Shane Gillis to play Murph, right? Like you want like
Yeah, just like 3
It would
jokes.
almost have to be one of the cops, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
3
yeah.
jokes about Big Nick.
Yeah,
I can't
3
believe you ate that donut. That was disgusting.
Right.
Joke.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Tony Romo, Chris Collinsworth, or someone else for the director's commentary. What do you have, CR?
What if Doris Burke was calling the prom date intervention? We see you, Mr. Laveau. For the past 16 years, you've been responsible for your daughter's safety. Now she's going out in the world, prom night, with a gang-affiliated teenager named Ronaldo. A huge moment in any father's life, but you've got half a dozen South Pacific Islander linemen and a cop killer named Ray Merriman by your side. It's not a prom night we will soon forget.
Oh. Unfortunately, now when I watch ESPN NBA, I just think of CR during Doris.
She also never speaks in that much of a monologue.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know how it's gotten out of control like that.
That scene when Donnie's in the bank room and they shut the cameras off and it's super tense there. Tony Romo easily, I think, could have come. They turned the cameras off, Jim. He's only got 3 minutes. He's got to get to the bed. I was thinking about that yesterday as he was having an orgasm about Josh Allen. Half-assed research. So Christian, the director that's here, he started writing this movie in 2003. So this is a 15-year odyssey.
Yeah.
Inspiring story, Van. You've worked on some movie projects in your life. 15 years, decade and a half.
It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, you got to commit.
Maybe in 2050 we'll make Den of Thieves Race War. You never know.
Yeah, it could happen.
Just keep plugging away.
I'm ready.
This movie was released in some countries with the title Criminal Squad. Ziggy's Bar is in Atlanta. It's called Johnny's Hideaway. If you ever want to go.
Yeah. Is Ziggy's Hofbrau based on Sam's Hofbrau here? Isn't that off Olympic somewhere? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Did you ask where Sam's Hofbrau is?
It's off Olympic.
I can show you.
Okay. I've been to bars too, man. Yeah.
Have you been to Sam's?
I've not been to Sam's.
Oh, yeah.
You want to go now?
We can go.
We can go.
Just don't fall in love. It's going down in that motherfucker. It is.
So there was a military consultant who did separate boot camps for both sides to train them.
I always wonder about this.
Yeah.
Particularly
Paul Maurice.
With the Taylor Sheridan stuff.
Yeah.
You almost wonder if Taylor Sheridan was like in the service, like how the vernacular was not how the vernacular comes out. But in this one, there's a lot of tactical stuff, and I always wonder.
In the closing credits, the $100 bill has the serial number DOT 00002018 for Den of Thieves. Got to really catch that. Takes some time. All right, Apex Mountain. Gerard Butler.
I think you could make the argument that this is the second phase of his career as Apex.
The Fallen movies?
But I think
300?
300 is the first peak.
Where are more conversations now, 300 or Den of Thieves?
Well, Den of Thieves in our bubble.
Longer tail.
I think Den of Thieves now.
300 probably played more at sporting events.
It's 300. It's probably 300, but he's more this guy now.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one.
I think it's become this. Pablo Schreiber.
It's this or The Wire.
Yeah, this or The Wire. Yeah.
I think it's this. Suit stores?
Suit stores in a movie?
Suit
Like in
stores.
films or in
No.
general?
All suit stores ever.
This is a very specific kind of suit store where you can get a suit and a leather duster and cowboy
Yeah.
boots.
Yeah, the 3-for-3 suit store for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
3 for 3 suit store, great. The Federal Reserve Bank in Los Angeles.
Didn't even know it was a thing. So yeah.
Yeah, the Fed. This
Never
is-
never
yeah.
been taken down.
Also, it could be Apex Mountain of things being described like Fort Knox.
Long Beach Poly versus South Torrance. I'm going to say this was the fucking apex.
It's certainly the Apex for South Torrance because
Yeah.
otherwise it's Chad Morton.
Shooting ranges in a movie. I still got a Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Beverly Hills Cop 2. Yeah,
Really
the
important,
Beverly Hills Gun
huge,
Club.
bigger,
Yeah.
bigger for the plot.
Yeah.
Benihana in a
It's
movie.
actually Benihana, which is unclear still.
Christian, was it a Benihana?
There you go.
That counts. We're counting
This
it.
is invaluable, by the way.
Yeah, this
We
is
could have
great.
just been doing this for 2
Always
hours.
have the
Yeah,
director. Accidental text to a stripper that go to your wife in a movie.
In a movie, yes.
Yeah.
In life, not even close.
In life, that would be Tiger Woods,
What's
right?
the text? It's like, you're such a bad bitch.
What? Is he here? What the? Thank you.
The text was I can't fuck over him like that, man.
Heat homage, second generation Heat movies. It's basically this versus
The Town.
Town.
Triple Frontier.
Triple Frontier is a war movie, though, right?
Yeah, Triple Frontier is
Yeah,
not.
but it's still a heist.
I mean, it's a heist, but the
It's
town
got the
is
same
much,
vibe.
The town is much more on the nose as far as like that type of thing that you're talking
Yeah.
about.
okay.
It's up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Widows. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Sexism stopped us from bringing it up.
Tacking up for a street gunfight after a heist.
Yeah, this is about as
Putting
good
the
as
armor
I've ever
on?
seen putting on bulletproof vests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
You got this. You got Straight Outta Compton. And you also have.
I think he's Donnie now. I
You
think
think
this
he's Donnie
Yeah,
now?
I think it's actually going to be the sequel.
Oh, the sequel is going to be.
That's good shot.
I think that's going to be his
Huge.
Apex Mountain.
I DM'd him and let him know we were doing this. He was like, yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Is that how he sounded?
He's a nice guy. He's a good guy.
We were like, hey man, I got this script idea called Race War.
Race war.
Think about it.
It's about these white football players.
Bad things happening at a donut store in a movie. I'm still going Boogie Nights.
Yeah, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though that did lead to Buck being able to open his own stereo.
The question is it the same
Stereo
donut
store.
shop? I guess not, because that's in the
Yeah.
valley, and this is.
Drinking milk right from the carton, probably Anchorman.
Anchorman is up there.
Yeah.
It's a terrible choice.
And then Angel City Donuts.
Yes.
I think this was Apex Mountain for wherever that was. All right. Next category is Cruiser Hanks.
I got Hanks as Big Nick.
Really? Make the case. Let's hear it.
I feel like Hanks post Saving Private Ryan could do it. I think he's got it. I think he spent some time with Sizemore. He knows about late nights. And coming out of Saving Private Ryan, we could have seen it.
Bro.
Are you trying to tell me Tom Cruise could have been anywhere in this film?
Wait a minute. I want everybody to close your eyes and think about Tom Hanks walking into that fucking dinner and stealing the meat off that guy's fucking plate.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks saying,
fucking hysterical.
the food sucks, we come here for the ass.
Right?
Like Tom Cruise saying it would be just as crazy.
Yeah.
We come here for the ass.
I actually thought Cruise, because it would have been the Cruise that I like, where he just tries to
But as
become
what?
this alternate crazy
Like,
personality.
like Collateral.
As Big Nick.
type- Yeah.
No,
Cruise
it's-
as Big
yeah.
Nick.
Cruise
is
just saying fuck
5'7".
it. Well, he'd be medium Nick.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Cruise maybe.
Can you imagine Cruise?
It's a shorter
facing off
movie with
against
Cruise.
Pablo Schreiber.
Well, I think we have to get rid of Pablo if Cruise is
It's
in
gonna
it.
look like a Make-A-Wish outing. Like it's literally gonna look like Big Brothers of LA. It's like it would look nasty, bro.
I think if Cruise is in, Pablo is probably not in the movie. We're probably recasting.
we got to get a shorter.
Yeah,
Ray.
it's a shorter cast at
It's
that
like more
point.
of like a slot receiver guy.
Yeah.
So you think Hanks after trying to be like
You're
America's
giving me
uncle.
a binary choice of Cruise or Hanks.
Cruise or
I tell
Hanks.
you, it's Hanks.
You're the tiebreaker.
So it would have to be Hanks.
Okay.
It would have to be Hanks.
I think you're right. I just wanted to see Cruz.
Cruz could play
trying
Bob
to play
and Bob.
Big Nick.
Cruz has played more roles like this before.
Yeah, he's in Collateral. Like he's done shit like this. Yeah.
Racehorse, rock band, wrestler, fantasy team name. I'll give you Angel City Donuts or Ziggy's Hofbrau.
I like calling a horse Long Beach Polly.
Oh, nice.
Long Beach probably is good.
All right, pick a nits. Scottish Gerard Butler as a South Torrance football star. Go.
Bro, you can't tell me he don't have that whole Bill Romanowski thing.
No,
going
he
for him.
does. It's just he's Scottish.
Yeah.
But he hides it pretty well, but I have the background of knowing. So Hawthorne to Wilmington, 14-mile ride. Just going to flag that, just
Okay.
having lived in LA for the last 22 years. Like the 14 miles is a long
This
way.
is the collateral rule of LA traffic.
Yeah,
stuff,
there's some map stuff. There's more later. Should Donnie have immediately asked for an attorney when he woke up in a hotel room with pee all over himself?
Well, I think
Like, I would have.
Did you get the impression that
they
LASD
would go-
would be like, oh, did you want
like they-
representation?
He
Sorry.
literally tells him, I'm in a gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a cop
Before
in a
he
gang.
does that, maybe I'd like to talk to an attorney.
Bro, I watch interrogation videos. They don't be asking for attorneys, man.
So Van's got to explain this to the audience.
What?
The interrogation. Do you guys know what interrogation videos are?
Y'all watch the interrogation videos.
Where are you watching this?
I'm watching them on YouTube.
Okay.
Red Tree Crimes, Explore With Us, all kinds of stuff. Cops sit down and they go, hey, listen, we know you're not a bad person. We know you killed your entire family. We just want to know why. And the entire time, the person, you're like, ask for the lawyer, ask for the lawyer, ask for the lawyer, ask for the lawyer.
Yeah.
By the end of it, they eating Popeyes and doing 150 years.
I would ask for an attorney if I was Donnie. We covered why does Merriman know this much about the Bank of Banks?
Yeah.
I don't know how he gets that information in 2018. What do you have? I have some more.
It takes me like 10 minutes and I have to like go outside and wait for Uber Eats to drop off my lunch at Spotify. But the Chinese food delivery guy can get inside of the Fed and like wander around the cafeteria.
With two bags?
Yeah. And it just seems like they could have had a tighter Chinese food delivery protocol at the Fed.
Yeah, maybe just drop it off at the front desk.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, your food's here. You can come down and get it.
So this is maybe the biggest nit I've ever picked in any movie ever. Okay, he's sitting there, and Big Nick looks at him. He looks at Donnie, and he says, you got a small pecker for a black guy. And Donnie says nothing. Donnie doesn't say, you ain't seen it when, because I'm a grower. You can go ask these chicks from where I'm from, and they'll straight tell you that's bullshit. It's women in the room, it's other dudes in the room, and he just accepts that. No. I'm gonna tell, nah, you don't even know what average is. That's not for real. You talking to somebody else. Obviously, I peed on myself, so my shit was like
a side effect
on
of being
salt.
tased. Yeah.
Like I was tased, I'm nervous. You can't make that by that. No, let's talk about the heist. Nah, before we talk about the heist, let's deal with this issue of you saying
settle
this.
this.
Yeah.
Good nitpick, man. Yeah.
So Donnie bags up all the $100 bills that are being shredded, and he's got, I don't know how many bags. Based on the weight of $100 bills, $1 million would weigh 22 pounds.
Okay.
So 30 million in $100 bills weighs 661.5 pounds, according to the internet.
Yeah.
Do you think he dumped 661.5 pounds over that thing in 2 minutes?
I mean, you'd probably be like, this is for all the marbles.
And those bags
you know?
were tiny.
Yeah.
It's a nitpick. I mean, I've seen this movie 17 times.
We should have brought 600 pounds out here and seen
Would
how
have been a good
Yeah.
taster now.
600 pounds of what?
So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bill could swing that.
so Donnie, because he has access to the people that go in and out of the bank, then he writes down the entire ventilation system on a bunch of napkins.
Yeah.
I just want to talk it out.
So this is what so every once in a while in the movie, you have to suspend. The movie doesn't work unless he's like a super genius, right? So the movie that has.
Well, I think you're supposed to imagine that like the little bits you're seeing, multiply it by 1,000. He's been at the bar for however long, hearing these people come in, they leave their ID cards there, they're talking about the new woman at the cafeteria, whatever, and that he's been accumulating this knowledge over the course of this period.
Okay.
And then at some point he had so much information, he goes, this could be actionable in some kind of way.
How many days was the Chinese food order up above the bathroom? Like,
And there's probably an answer to that. I don't know. It's
like it's at least 5. Mm-hmm. So if you have Chinese food in the fridge for 5 days, it's risky.
yeah.
I'm trying to think what could have been eaten by either of those ladies over the course that could aid. Does the Chinese food exist?
She was getting
Would it have to be
busy.
cold?
Yeah, it was cold. But remember,
So I'm saying initially cold, like a cold lo mein, something like that.
oh, you're talking about like what they
the
would've
actual
ordered.
order.
Oh, yeah. What was the order that they were like, that's cool, this tastes normal?
Because if it's like just beef with broccoli, that thing's like moving
But you
by
have to-
Thursday.
But also, it was like, it was so late, they could have been like, oh my God, it's just not hot anymore. We're hungry as fuck.
One of those things smelled really bad, I'm guessing. So Merriman sprinting,
Yeah.
wasn't impressed. Guy was supposed to be like this kick-ass football player. I didn't like how he ran. I don't know whether like some back
Do you
injuries.
mean like in the Miles Turner way where you're like, I don't like how
just
you run?
didn't
It's
feel
like,
athletic enough to me. Combine, I'm crossing him off my
He
list.
didn't go pro.
Right.
Yeah,
He's a high
didn't-
school player.
Just jumped out to me. Looked
What if
slow.
he got his knee blown out in high
Maybe.
school?
You know what?
We're
First
making
of all-
excuses for him. He looks slow.
Well, I'm not making any excuses for him. I'm saying respect him, man. This man might have got some shrapnel in Baghdad or Fallujah or something like
You're
that.
Jesus. It's a thought experiment. I turned into like me insulting the military. Well, the body armor's probably heavy too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't impressed with Pablo.
In terms of jogging with full Kevlar.
didn't
and,
love it.
like, yeah.
CR, you did this when you initially wrote about this movie for The Ringer. You mapped out going from Montebello to the Federal Reserve Los Angeles branch all the way down to Alameda Street.
Yeah, Alameda Corridor.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And it could explain why they were in traffic and ended up getting caught. They put so much time and energy and thought into how to break into this bank. They never factored in the traffic part.
Well, they never factored the right lane being closed. And honestly, that's the most quintessentially LA thing that happens in this movie.
Yeah, that's just
It's like, I had
Thursday.
fucking plenty of time, and now
Yeah,
I'm
right.
40 minutes late because they closed the right lane.
Also, they thought they would be clean. They thought they would be
Yeah.
undetected. They thought their plan was going to be sound. And so they didn't know that they were up against super cop linebacker Big Nick.
Big Nick caught him. Any other nitpicks?
The only other one that I had was Merriman is super offended by like Big Nick's behavior, but I would not describe Merriman as like really putting an emphasis on his family, you know, like because he does basically make his girlfriend sleep with Big Nick to throw like put him on a wild goose chase. So practice what you preach, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I can go along with that.
Sequel, prequel, prestige, TV, all black cast, or untouchable.
Sequel.
Next category, we were getting a sequel.
But I would take a prequel.
I take a prequel and a sequel.
Yeah.
A prequel would be a great way to bring Merriman's character back.
Yeah, but you have to shrink him a little bit, you know?
Give him smaller.
Yeah.
Next category is this movie better with Wayne Jenkins, Danny Trejo, Sam Jackson, Nell, Byron Mayo, Harling Mays, Long Legs, or Philip Baker Hall? Do we add Big Nick to this category going forward? What movie's
We've
worse
been
with
moving
Big
guys
Nick?
out, right? Should we get Philip Baker Hall out and Big Nick in?
I'm happy to do that.
Okay. All right.
What movie would Big Nick not make better? Like rom-coms he'd make better? Horror films? Just be coming into a house where there was
Yeah,
like an
if Adam
exorcism?
Driver was friends with Big Nick in Marriage Story.
Just got to dump him, brother.
Yeah.
If Big Nick was friends with MLK and Selma. Hey, gotta get across the fucking Edmund Pettus Bridge.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, I'm in. So we'll add Big Nick, I
Okay.
think.
I was thinking about what would happen if Wayne Jenkins was Big Nick's divorce attorney.
Oh.
Goddamn, Big Nick! I didn't know I was watching Kramer versus Kramer. Don't you know about having a burner phone for strippers? I hope you had a prenup. You better get a mediator in here, big dog, or you're gonna be paying alimony a long fucking time.
Wayne, he's back. Just one Oscar. Who gets it? Should we just say Christian because he's here?
I would say, you know what's funny? Like, not to dick ride, but I would say script though.
Oh,
I would say script.
I think Christian still wins.
Yeah, I'm saying script. Yeah, you're right. I would say script. It's an inventive script.
If I was going to go with anybody but Christian, I honestly would go Pablo.
I had him. I had him
really
as well.
Good, yeah.
Probably unanswerable questions. Best and worst job for the people driving the armored truck. Worst job is sitting in the back.
Yes.
Inside. Because that guy always gets blown up if anything bad happens. I would be like, we're fucking drawing straws to see who's sitting in the back.
I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to know what's a medium bad day for an armored truck guy?
The donut
good
stores
day is
closed.
nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
Bad day is Den of Thieves happen or Heat happens or whatever. What's like that? We're just going over a lot of potholes.
Yeah.
Or the bank was slow getting us out of there or whatever. Like, what's
Didn't get home in time for the football game because there was a lane closed.
Movies like this make me wonder, like, what kind of people are the armored car people?
Yeah.
Because, you know, if I'm driving the car and the guy goes, we got armor-piercing bullets and we about to fuck y'all up if you don't give me the money, I'm like, yo.
Take it.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you can have the money.
I'm gonna go in that donut shop.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You want something?
When I come back,
you want a glaze? I could throw them out there. But the armored car in all of these movies, the armored car guys always
like, I'm gonna die doing what I love. Yeah, like protecting money in a truck.
And I'm not saying that's whack. I'm just saying, yo, who the fuck are these guys that they get?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What other unanswerables?
I wanted to know if Ray Merriman was a tribute to Sean Merriman as a football player. And how would Van talk his way out of sending that text?
What?
How
would you have talked your way out of sending that
Big
text?
Nick at 6 in the morning.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, look. Let me see that. Oh, that wasn't me. So, look, let me tell you what happened. So, my homeboy, his phone, we was all there. I was there. I'm not going to lie. I spent a lot of money, okay? You probably shouldn't look at the bank statements for a little while, baby. I spent a lot of money. But my phone died. And I'm leaving. And I'm my man, his phone died. I apologize.
Baracho's phone.
Yeah. His phone died, and he wanted to hook something up. He had just got divorced or whatever. He's trying to see what's up. So I gave him my phone, and he was texting. I know you're not stupid enough to think that I would text you.
Yeah.
How could you think that? How could you think that I would send that?
As a matter of fact, stop accusing me.
Yeah.
Because I've been at work and I asked for one night a month to go out with my boys. And I'm trying to do this nigga a solid. And all of a sudden, you getting at me. I don't want to hear this no more. Give me the keys. Give me the keys. Gaslit.
And then
it would be really
drink
funny
the milk.
if you went home and you were just like, oh, Chris Ryan borrowed my phone.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it was CR. With Donnie Meets Merriman, that scene when he goes over and they're all like grimly eating barbecue outside, it looks like the Boogie Nights house. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, outside when they're, looking at house slightly bigger, but it gives you the same kind of...
It feels more like South Bay adjacent to me than the Valley, but yeah.
Because there's the pool. When they show the back, it's on the left. But I researched this, and all of this movie was filmed in Atlanta, basically. So it was not the Boogie Nights house.
You know who we haven't talked about in the movie almost at all?
Who?
50. Of all the roles that 50 has been in, 50 he fits like a glove into this movie.
Yeah. You could actually make the argument that he should have lived. Because 50 Den and Den of Thieves 2 is like a huge thing, right? After Power and everything.
Normally when you see 50 on screen, he's such a gigantic personality and a gigantic figure that you go, that's 50 Cent. But in this role, he's muted. He plays off of Pablo's character really well. He's really, really good in this.
I didn't put him in Apex Mountain because it's we know what his Apex Mountain
Get Rich or Die Trying album.
That year that when his album broke was his Apex Mountain.
Biggest rapper in the world. Yeah.
But this was, I think, the best movie that he's been in.
This is probably his movie Apex.
Yeah.
I would definitely say this is his movie Apex.
Best double feature choice. What would you go with, CR?
I mean, Den of Thieves 2, Pantera.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Deliver for client.
The Indian Red Zawatne Award. What happened the next day? Den of Thieves 2.
Pantera.
Yeah. What piece of memorabilia would you want from this movie that's not the Chinese food that's stuck in the bathroom?
Oh man, I get enamored with all the hardware that's always in these movies, but I'm not gonna pick that. I'm gonna go with,
I had that. I had Pablo's vest in this movie. It would be fucking cool.
yeah. I always love the movies.
So many bullet spots.
Yeah.
It's like 2,000 bullets.
Yeah, but it'd probably be one of the donuts with a little bit of blood on it.
Stunt donut. What do you have, CR?
Either the donuts or Donnie's Trans Am or whatever he was driving when he's like, all right,
Oh.
drive. Yeah.
The Coach Finstock Award, best life lesson: never underestimate a bartender.
Yeah.
Never. Yep.
That's definitely what I left the film thinking about.
Or if you're gonna pull off a heist, maybe try to figure out a better traffic situation. If you're gonna spend
avoid the Alameda corridor.
10 weeks casing a bank, maybe try to figure out how to get in Alameda.
I have one question I want to ask before just to compare some stuff, just real quick. Let's say you have one job you have to pull, and the job is robbing a large bank in Miami, right? Whose crew are you gonna want to rob this bank? You're gonna want
From Movie Cruise.
movie crews. Danny Ocean's crew,
Nah, too soft.
Neil's crew,
Neil's crew.
or Merriman's crew?
Neil's crew.
You think Neil's crew?
Yeah.
I feel like
Do I
feel
get
like-
Dennis Haysbert in Neil's crew?
I think that online gambling was probably not kind to Chris Shaherlis. And by the time you get to our contemporary moment, he is really distracted.
Right.
You know?
That's he too.
Yeah. It's like him just being crippled by like, I gotta get my bets in. But
He's
like,
doing a Monday Night Parlay.
so I would go Merriman's crew.
There you go.
Interesting. Merriman's crew has more size.
Yeah.
Because Ray's probably, 5 inches taller than anyone? He's 5 inches on size more.
Yeah. I think because the bank is in Miami, I'm going with Merriman's crew.
I mean, obviously, the correct answer is the town because you get Jem, who's fucking take all these guys.
Yeah.
5'8" Pitbull.
Those guys get killed on the second robbery, though.
Yeah,
like,
true. Who won the movie?
Christian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it took him. It's like
'Cause he's here?
shepherded. No, he shepherded it from like the early 2000s up into the screen. And
Yeah,
that's the sequel.
15 years of working on a movie,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it leads to this all these years later.
Can I
It
give
leads
you-
to the rewatchables.
Yeah. I meant Den of Thieves
Yeah.
too, not the Rewatchables.
Can I give it
In theaters January
This is gonna
10th.
be a cop out. Is it possible that in this instance the movie won the movie? And let me tell you why I say that. It's because very rarely is a film thought about so highly by everyone that's seen it. And for some reason, it was unexpected to people, like how much they enjoyed it. Like everybody that talks about it talks about, people that said it wasn't great don't know what they're talking about. And the movie itself, it was able to maintain that kinetic energy and everybody's interest enough to like have a sequel that people are gonna really go out to see. So in this case, maybe the movie won the movie.
That's interesting because it so rarely happens that they make a movie that has expectations for just, I hope this movie does okay in the theaters.
I'm gonna try this in 3 weeks where I do the movie won the movie, and he's gonna be like, "You can't do that."
I would say either Christian or Pablo Schreiber because this is one of those movies that makes you wonder, like, man, should there have been more stuff for him? Like, was there, could there have been an action franchise for him? Or I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, he's had a really good career, done a
he's
bunch of things, but could there have been like a signature hook franchise action thing for
Yeah, I
him?
think Halo was
Like, could he have been
supposed-
Jack Reacher?
Yeah.
The Halo thing was a gigantic thing.
Well, that's in the Nerdverse, though, right?
Well, it was on Paramount Plus. And just
That's like your people watch that, the nerds.
my
Ringerverse.
people?
The Ringerversers.
Yeah, clean it up.
I said the nerds.
Yeah, clean it up, Marky Mark.
I said the nerds. How dare you? No, but that's in the Ringerverse universe.
The Ringerverse, yeah. But to your point, that was his big deal.
I
Oh,
don't
we
think
didn't-
it does. Honestly, it does not need a better sex scene in this movie.
Yeah.
Did you really want to see Big Nick going at it with
with the stripper?
Ray's girl?
No, I think this movie has the right amount of sex.
Yeah.
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 All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you to Lionsgate. And check out Den of Thieves 2, Pantera.